Guitars for Christ, where you can learn how to play guitar in church. In this video, I'm going to show you the 7th chord. So first I'll explain all of them, and then I'll explain how to use them effectively when you're playing hymns. A lot of hymns, it's not really helpful to use 7th chords. So 7th chords are just a little bit happier than major chords. So minor chords sound sad. This is D, for example, D minor, D major, a little bit happier, and then D7. It just sounds a little bit happier. It's mostly used in jazz music, so we don't use them all that often, but I'll show you what they are and then show you how to use them effectively. So we're going to start with A. To start with A, you're going to take your second finger, you're going to put it on the 4th string of the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger is going to go on the 2nd string of the 2nd fret. You play the 5 bottom strings. This is A7. Just a little bit happier than A major. Or you can play it like when you play A, except just lift your 3rd finger. That's A7. Now for B7, B7 works like this. You take your 2nd finger, you put it on the 5th string of the 2nd fret, your 3rd finger goes on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret, and your 1st finger goes on the 4th string of the 1st fret. You just play the 4 middle strings. So you don't play the top string and you don't play the bottom string, you just play the 4 middle strings. Play one at a time to be sure you're correct. It makes it a little bit harder to go up when you are only playing the 4 middle strings because you can't hit that bottom string. Just hit the 4 middle strings. After B we have C, which you take your 1st finger and you put it on the 2nd string of the 1st fret. Your 2nd finger goes on the 4th string of the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger goes on the 5th string of the 3rd fret. This is just a C. But for C7, your 4th finger goes on the 3rd string of the 3rd fret, and you play the 4 middle strings, same as B7. That is C7. Now for D7, you're going to take your 1st finger, it's going to be on the 2nd string of the 1st fret, your 2nd finger is going to be on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger is going to be on the 1st string of the 2nd fret. You play the 4 bottom strings. It's like a normal D but inverted, so normal D is like this, D7 is like this. Now you have E. E is very easy. You do E natural, then you lift your 3rd finger. So your 1st finger is going to be on the 3rd string of the 1st fret, and your 2nd finger is going to be on the 5th string of the 2nd fret. You play all 6 strings. Then we have F, which is the only one that is a bar chord. So you use your 1st finger as a bar, then you put your 2nd finger on the 3rd string of the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger on the 5th string of the 3rd fret, using your 1st finger as a bar. This is the hardest of the 7 chords. Then you have G7, which is similar to a C. I'll show you. So 1st finger on the 1st string of the 1st fret, your 2nd finger on the 5th string of the 2nd fret, and your 3rd finger on the 6th string of the 3rd fret. You really have to stretch for this chord. Play all 6 strings. And that is A through G, all the 7th chords. Now I'll show you how to use them effectively. I just use them to add a little bit of sound to a normal chord. So for example, I do it in At Calvary. It goes at Calvary, and then I do C7 between the verse and the chorus. So it just adds a little bit to that in between. And then you can use it other times. I do G7 for Since Jesus Came Into My Heart. And Jesus came into my heart. Since Jesus came into my heart. Floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea below. That's the G7. Since Jesus came into my heart. Just adds that extra sound, that extra feeling there So it's not just the normal G, you get to do the G7. However, you want to be careful how you use this, because this is primarily used in jazz music, and I am not a fan of jazz music. Jazz music is primarily a harmony, and harmony affects more the soul than it does the spirit. The Bible says to sing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs and making melody in your hearts toward God. We're supposed to do the melody, and that's the spiritual song. We're not supposed to focus on harmony. So you want to be careful when you do it. You don't want to do it if you're the only one playing, ever. You never do it if you're the only one playing. If there's other instruments playing, like a piano playing, and the piano can keep that louder melody noise, then you can do it. But you don't want to ever let the harmony be more dominant than the melody. The melody should always be the most dominant if that's how we play in church. So there's 7 chords. I hope you learned something in this video, and you'll see me in the next video.